Hello, everybody. Welcome again to the Real Collective Podcast. My name is Brendan McKeegan, and I'm very cold today. That's why I'm wearing a sweater. With me, as always, is Sean Tassay in our very nicely temperatured office. Sean, how are you today?
I'm breathing better. Knock on wood, the smoke seems to be a lot better today than it was yesterday. We're recording this on June 8th, and June 7th was, I guess, one of the worst air quality days in most people's lives. Um, I think I don't know who the people are who would have had worse air quality. My guess is people who are like in wars. So, yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to breathe. Happy about that. Yeah, summer's coming. It's one of the reasons we wanted to talk a little bit in the second half about what we're talking about. What are we going to do all summer?
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so we'll touch on that. There's a lot of fun things to do around Ottawa
yeah.
coming up. If you are enjoying the show, please like, subscribe, and share the channel. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, all the things. All those would be wonderful if you don't mind. Yeah, the air quality around here has been really weird and eerie, and I know that like a lot of people in New York are taking pictures of it now. We already had that, but the worst day that we had, it almost looked like the filter that TV shows use whenever they're filming a scene in Mexico.
Yeah.
To like, and it's like, oh, it's so different here. It's like, it's not. Why are you putting that filter, that yellow filter on it?
Yeah,
But that's what the air looked like.
that was gross, and it tasted bad. It was not a good vibe. And then like trying to keep our house like clear, right? Like we went and got an extra air filter and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, this thing was working overtime yesterday. It was like 100. Normally, right now it's reading 1 microgram, right? It
Oh
was
wow.
right.
Wow, I
Uh,
was reading 100, now it's only reading one. Those are good numbers.
Microgram?
I don't know.
Yeah, me either.
Just some micro doses to start
Yeah,
your day.
is that 0 is perfect, and as you ramp up, it gets worse. Uh, Sometimes it goes purple, which is like the absolute worst. Worse
Yeah.
than
Yeah, nobody wants purple.
nobody. Not one
Gotta
of
stay away from there. All right, well, let's jump into it. That's some wonderful subterfuge on this day. Shout out to our sponsor Dyson for making fans and air purifiers. They're not our sponsor. We were going to talk about today something that we wanted to touch on last week but didn't, because Sean didn't hit record. uh We're going to talk about being a first-time home seller. A lot of people, obviously, you start somewhere, you bought a home, but maybe you bought it differently. You didn't use a realtor. Maybe you bought a new build. Maybe it was a private sale and you just had some lawyers do up something for you. Whatever it happens to be, there's a lot of people now that are upgrading their home. So they're in that first-time home buyer home that they more than likely bought straight from the builder, and now they're getting ready to list. And it's a similar-ish process to being a first-time home buyer, but uh a little bit more on the agency and form side of things and what to kind of expect and how it's different. Like, and when you buy a new build, it's like 200 pages for your agreement of purchase and sale. Whereas selling your home, it's like a 4-page document now. So
but
you
yeah,
know, you know what I mean.
I do. I
So we
do.
wanted to jump into it. Starting off, I guess, when it's the first thing, let's say that you're deciding, hey, we've got our new build. It's time to upgrade our home. What do we do?
Yeah, yeah. I think absolutely. It's yeah, like you said, you're in this place and you've never used a realtor before. I think that's the whole idea here is, the concept of hiring and using a realtor. If you've bought your first house and it's a resale house, you've done it before and you've gone through, you've looked at the forms, you understand, how they all break down and what it all means. But if you bought from the builder, you don't know what it is. You don't know how the deposit structure works. The deposit structure is different, of course, with a new build where you have, a schedule about making different deposits versus a resale home. You make your one deposit that one time when your offer is accepted, and that's it. you pay the rest of what you owe at closing, right? With a new build, typically you've got $20,000 now, another $20,000 later, another $20,000 down the road. Not the case here, right? The deposit amount is negotiable in a resale home, so a little bit different in terms of what the process is. And if you've never been shopping for houses, going from house to house to house, looking at them, then you might not know what to expect when you're listing your house for sale and expecting people to come into your space and what's important for you to do in those instances. Um, the three things as a seller that you can control are the price. You get to set the price, right? The Obviously the market's going to give you some way to go in terms of that. The condition of the home, how it shows, how it looks, and we bring a stager in. There's a we can put a link to a consultation that we did with, or a conversation, a podcast that we did with Heather to talk about staging. And then the third, of course, is the availability for showings. And a lot of people, especially if you're moving up from, like, let's say a townhouse to your quote unquote forever house or the bigger house, you might have young kids. And having young kids when you're selling a house makes it a little bit harder to sell. So how can you make it so that your house is as available as possible for those potential buyers? And there's definitely some struggles I think that people have in terms of being a first time home seller, simply because they don't understand all of the moving parts about it all, right?
Hmm. Yeah, and I know going through both processes, on the reverse side of that, even the buying a new home might feel, or like selling your home might feel really daunting because of what it was like to purchase the home. Buying a new home is, I don't want to say it's a nightmare, but like it's close. It's close. you know, you've got your 30-day carry on that maybe they resolve within a year. Maybe your builder is in trouble of losing their Terry on license because they're not following up with people. There's just a lot, right? And then you come time to like, hey, should we sell? And then you're like, no, like it's just, maybe you feel like you're stuck. But I think what we want to get out today is that you're not. There's a lot more that you can do, and it really just starts by sitting down with a realtor and going over your needs and wants and what your plan is, or like what your ideal situation is, and then going from there, and then just establishing a game plan. And it's not like, I mean, yes, obviously sometimes it's a rush job to move, but if it's not, and it's like, hey, we want to do this and we want to take our time with it, then you do that. I mean, everyone's different, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like I say, also, if you've bought a resale house, you've been through the process of the paperwork, right? You know what's involved on each of those sheets. Theoretically, the agent who helped you buy your resale home has explained the paperwork to you and helped you to understand, hey, here's what you're signing, here's what it means, here's what this means on page 5, here's what this means on page 2, here's what the irrevocable means, all of that sort of thing. That's all been explained to you. But if you're buying a resale home and you didn't have a realtor and you just use the builder's forms, then you might not have that insight and knowledge about what that paperwork means, what a standard OREA, agreement of purchase and sale form 100, what all of that means. And so there is some nuance to being a first time home seller. And working with an agent. You did a video, Brendan, breaking down those forms. It's pretty light and enjoyable. So maybe we can put a link to that one.
sure. Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm trying to do for both buyer and seller clients is, especially, I mean, if you haven't sold your home in 5 years, I wouldn't expect you to remember the form, or even a couple of years, right? Like it's not front of mind for you. So yeah, I broke it down, tried to make it light, but also informative, I guess. Quick breakdown. Check it out. There it is.
That is, yeah, it was light and informative, and as always, funny. So yeah, I mean there's certainly a lot to be said about the particularities about selling a house and hiring a realtor to do it versus buying a house directly from the builder. And that's what we wanted to get into. I think we kind of covered most of the important stuff.
I think so.
there's something we're missing, post it down below, and we'll hit up on it or follow up on it, or resolve it. That's the problem with us, right? Is we're in this all the time. We don't really take the time to think about what are the exact differences between builder forms and not. With a builder form, you have a 10-day cooling off period, right? And with a residential real estate form, you do not have a 10-day cooling off period. You typically have a conditional period, right? Normally a week or so, but again, that's negotiated.
Yeah.
Uh, all of the things that are on the form are negotiated between the buyer and the seller. When you're working directly with the builder, you show up as the buyer, and you just, hey, the builder calls the shots. Here's what this says. Here's what this is. You get this. You get this. You get this. Sign here. Whereas when you're selling, it's a negotiation. It's a bit of a dance, right? The buyer gives you an offer. You have to counter offer. It's not the same at all. And
Mhm.
so I think in terms of scheduling showings, that's one big thing that people are need to be made aware of. And then the forms, another one, and then how that negotiation process works. I think those are the three bigs.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. And I think as a home seller, if you own your home right now and you haven't done it already, start a home binder. Um, it's just invaluable. It really is. Like, even just for your own sake, keep your property taxes, all of your bills, upgrades. Like if you get a new furnace or whatever, you get like a new kitchen, put all the receipts in there in a binder. And then that way, when you do go to list it, you have everything there. And the amount of work that it takes to make a binder like that is not that much. But the return that you get on that when people are going to your house and see this binder when they walk in, that's almost invaluable because it's showing you so much. And I mean, last year we were trying to make it as easy as possible, even the last 2 3 years, as easy as possible for our seller clients to get clean offers. And that meant spending the money on a home inspection ahead of time to be able to include that with the listing. So again, like you get a home inspection done, you put it in the binder, print it out, put it in the binder. Everything's there. And then that way, when the new person moves in, here's the binder. If there's, anything that's not with your personal info on it, obviously, but enough stuff that'll help who's ever moving in, um, to help them make a decision. And it means more money in your pocket, I think. And I still think it's a good idea to get a home inspection before you list so that you know what could come up uh by the time that someone does put an offer in, and maybe they have an offer with a home inspection, and you can say, yep, no problem, but we took care of it, and here's the receipt, it's in our binder.
Yeah. And you can even say at that point, hey, you know what? Here's the home inspection. You can go get your own home inspection. That's great. Here's the home inspection that we did. If you find anything that's not on this home inspection, then certainly we'll have a conversation. But if you find what we've already found in your home inspection, then don't come back to us and ask for, don't come back to renegotiate with us.
Yeah.
There's a huge value in having that sort of foresight and peace of mind, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it just sets people at ease. So even if you do want to get your own inspector in there because you think maybe the inspector was working for the seller, which they kind of are, but a home inspector has to do their due diligence and they have to report things. You run the risk of losing your license when you start lying about stuff like, we're just gonna pretend that crack in the foundation doesn't exist. Don't
Eh,
worry about it.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you buy me a case of Michelob Ultra and we'll call it a day.
PBR for the win.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Michelob.
So yeah, just get yourself in front of a realtor, someone you trust, get your home inspection, get your house binder, and that will, I think the binder and an inspection will give you a good baseline of what you want to do. And that might mean nothing. Maybe you don't want to fix anything and you just fully disclose everything and say, hey, here's what's wrong with their house, or here's some things that are going to need attention, and it's reflected in the price.
Exactly. And again, that puts you in such a strong position if the buyer does do their home inspection and they find the same things, like, yeah, we already told you about all those things, right? Everything's been fully disclosed and they can't come back to you to renegotiate. Yeah, You don't always need a home inspection. I mean, if the house is 5 years old, you might feel okay to skip over that home inspection. But if it's a 50-plus-year-old home, yeah, you want that insight, that information, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Cool.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the first half of the Real Collective podcast. We're going to be back in the second half and talk about some fun things going on in the city this summer. Obviously, everybody knows about festivals, so we have some other things on the go that might be good for you and the fam jam.
Yeah.
So take a look at that. We'll be right back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel here on the Real Collective Podcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Thanks very much. See you in a minute.
This episode of the Real Collective podcast is brought to you by Real Collective. Real Collective brings together best-in-class real estate agents and collective experts in the field to deliver the best possible service to our clients. We govern ourselves with honesty, open-mindedness, and compassion. With diverse skill sets, our agents are able to better serve a wide array of clients, including first-time buyers, first-time sellers, transferees, estate sales, investors, and rural, vacation, and luxury properties. Authenticity and transparency are pillars of our process, which allows us to put our clients at the center of everything we do. Our years of experience and knowledge allow us to deliver prestigious service and optimal results. If you are interested in buying or selling your home, contact us today at realcollective.ca.
Welcome back to the second half, everybody. The Real Collective Podcast. Hope you enjoyed that break. Again, I'm going to just beat a dead horse here. Like, subscribe, and share the channel. I was going to say that we might have had my breakdown as the break, but that probably would have been too long. So it's probably just some reels from us. But that link is down below if you do want to take a look at me breaking down the agreement of purchase and sale, or even the buyer representation agreement. I did one of those, so that's on my YouTube channel as well. And more to come. So take a look at those. Speaking of things to do, anyway, second half, summer's getting kicked off here, and there's a lot of kind of cool things that are coming around to Ottawa, or the Ottawa area, I would say. I think some of them are, sort of the stuff that everybody knows. Like, you can go to the experimental farm and you can see some animals. You can go to a bunch of laser tag places or whatever, like the kids fun zones. But like, what are the other things that we can do in Ottawa that we don't know about? And that's what we thought we'd shed some light on. Maybe there's some things you don't know. Everyone knows about the 90,000 festivals that are happening.
Yeah, for the most part.
What else is on the go?
Yeah, there's a lot, and the question is like, what age are your kids, and can they do you want to do like a day trip, or do you want to do like an afternoon trip? Like, do you need to get back for a nap, or are you good doing something a little bit bigger? I think if you're good doing something a little bit bigger, and by bigger I mean like longer, further away drive, then you can go like down to Morrisburg and do Upper Canada Village. There's it's a prehistoric world is down there. But that's like an hour and a half drive, and it's heavy. There's a lot to do. A little bit closer, you can do like Calypso, right? That's maybe 30-40 minutes away. You could also in that same range is like Montebello, like less than an hour. You can go to Omega Park, right? Do like an overnight stay at Montebello. There's a bunch of different stuff, but it's a question of like, do you want to drive that far, or do you want to sort of more stay in town, right? Or close to in town. You could also do like there's a bunch of stuff on the Quebec side, in and around the Gatineau Park, right? Such a huge resource, untapped resource, and you can just go up and go hiking at any of the trails. There's a bunch of mountains. You can drive half an hour and get your kids to walk up the mountain, really tire them out. This is all about just tiring out kids, right?
Yeah.
There's lots to do up there, up in the Gatineau Hills. Mont Cascade has a water park up there. There's Lac Philippe and those Luskville Falls, Lusco Cave, right? Or there's that big quarry, Big Morrison's quarry, where that Great Canadian Bungee spot is, and that's like a super blue lake to go swimming in. So there's a lot of stuff that's fun to do. We really like actually going up to Mackenzie King Estate. I don't know why, but it was just something that sort of stuck with us, and it's a good vibe to be up there. And yeah, what about you guys? What do you like doing?
Well, I think my oldest is really into the dinosaurs right now. That's that age group, right? There's the Lost Kingdoms. That one's the big one, I think. That one's coming right by, if you're in Ottawa, Moody and the Highway, where they do that is it the Festival of Lights, that whatever is in there where you can drive through with your car.
Yeah, yeah.
But this one is you can get out. They have a lot of things going on. There's animated dinosaurs that like they move and have sounds and robotic parts. There's some VR headsets where you can sit down and take a look at stuff too. Um, just like, life-size dinosaurs. And it only runs until July 9th,
And
but it's like an hour and a half. It apparently to go through the whole park sort of thing. But like an hour and a half for kids that are into dinosaurs is plenty.
that's a lifetime. That's over at Wesley Clover Parks.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's right in the middle of the city. That's way better than driving down to Morrisburg.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But it's
And from the pictures that are on here, like everything looks like it's really well done.
cool. Yeah, they
Yeah.
run a good show over at Wesley Clover.
Yeah.
Cool. There's a lot more stuff happening there. They're doing a lot of sort of redevelopment of that area. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Check that out. What else do you do? You're a baseball guy.
Yeah. I'm a baseball guy. Ottawa Titans.
Hmm.
That's a fun little different thing to do with the kids, especially if they're into baseball. But even if they're not, I mean, you're going to be hard pressed to have a kid sit in a seat for an entire baseball game. But they have like a little park there, I think, at the stadium. There's kids things that you can do. There's obviously like the mascot that's running around too. So they do try to make it very kid friendly. There's like a junior fan club for kids under 12. They can, meet the players on the team. You can run the bases on family fun days,
That's fun.
yeah, anytime you can run the bases as a kid feels like really cool. I wish they had that when I was a kid, but they never did.
That's at RCGT.
Yeah, RCGT Park, the one right by Vanier Parkway.
Nice. Yeah, right on the nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those are better in terms of being sort of in town, right? And then of course you've got your classics. You've got your classic like just drive down to the Byward Market and walk around.
Yeah.
Whether it's there's a haunted tour, right? We've done that haunted tour. Maybe kids need to be a little bit older, and that's more in the evening. Or you can there's a boat cruise, like the Ottawa River boat cruise or the Ottawa Canal boat cruise. You can go and do that. Like you can just be a tourist in your own city, right?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff. There's that zip line. Remember that zip line at ZB?
Yep.
You can do that. There's so many fun things, and you can just like go to the museums, right? Science and Tech Museum, Museum of Nature. Do they still call it that?
Sure.
Yeah, I think so. Dinosaur Museum. That's what my kids always call it. Just do Parliament Hill. Like just walk downtown. Okay?
Yeah.
From the Ottawa sign. There's all these different things to do, and it's just get out of the house and go anywhere with them. They'll be happy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's I don't think there's a shortage of things to do. I think it's just about knowing where to look for them.
Yeah. Good
I wonder
call.
if there's like a website, Ottawa Family Activities.
Yeah, there probably is.
You would think, right? Ottawa Pirate Ship. There you go.
At Mooney's Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. We've never
Join the crew in search for treasure.
booty.
Yar. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. Kids 3 and under are free.
There you go.
Yeah. Might be a little pricier, but I mean, you're also paying to go on a pirate ship and pay the staff. So
I mean, like, look, you can search like Ottawa activity for families and come up with like 50 different ideas of what you could do in Ottawa. So there's
Sure.
lots, right? There's lots to look at, lots to check out. Obviously, just go downtown and walk around, right? There's what's that museum that has the children's museum at
at the Museum of Civilization, I think.
they go around, they get like they stamp their passport and stuff like that. Like there's so many fun things that are sort of kid focused that they can do.
Yeah.
a bunch of beaches too, like and like random hidden beaches along
Right.
the way, like Andrew Hayden Park all the way back down. If you just bike days, right? Sunday and Saturday, you can like ride your bike up and down, and then there's like all these little like the beach made of rocks that's just like hidden there, and it's not called anything. It's just along.
Yeah.
Go and waste time there, you know.
Some of the Cineplex theaters have like Saturday mornings, and it's like $3.
Come on, really?
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like family favorites, like a Tom and Jerry movie or Lego Batman.
Really?
Uh, what else? Mummies, but like a kid one,
Yeah.
like not like Mummies, Brendan Fraser style.
No, we watched the Mummies one in theater.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's like different ones that you can find at it participating ones, but I'm sure there's a couple in Ottawa that are doing it. Um, Saturday, May 13th for the Lego Batman. That was Saturday, June 17th, June 24th. There's another one. Yeah.
So there you go. You got your whole summer planned. You're welcome.
Yes. We did it for you. You're welcome, parents. No. Saunders Farm. If you haven't been there with your kids, you gotta go. There's a lot of fun things to do, and they have maze days. So I guess they've done the hedge mazes are all done up and ready to go.
I like
I'd say take a
those
look at that one.
mazes. I haven't done the big one. Like when you stand in that tower, you look out like in one direction. It's like the I think it's a 1 mile maze, like a 1 mile maze. I haven't done that one. I've
Yeah.
done it, but I feel like a mile is too long with
Yeah.
that are my age kids. So
Yeah. Get me out of here.
we
Yeah,
just
exactly.
we're just finishing reading Harry Potter and the Triwizard Tournament, Goblet of Fire. So
Ooh.
talk about walking through the maze.
Yeah. There you go. Take him through it.
Right.
Cirque du Soleil, I think, is coming soon.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
This
Lots of things.
where they were
Lots of
last.
stuff to check out, guys.
Yeah.
If we missed anything, I would say throw it in the comments below. Let us know if there's something that you guys like to do that maybe we haven't touched on that's outside of the norms of all the festivals and stuff like that. I would like to hear about it, so put it down there.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good spot to wrap things up for now. Yeah. Yeah, I think we hit on it. If we missed anything in the first half, like if you're a first-time home seller and maybe you had a question, pop it down there. Or if our Calendly links are below, you can book on there and just talk with us directly. Easy peasy. So we'll wrap things up for now. Again, one more time, like, subscribe, and share the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all the things. We appreciate you listening. And until the next one, keep it real.
Collective.